don't know what you heard about me. I don't know what you heard about me. Well, a bitch can't get $1 out of me. No Cadillac, no pearls you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking VIP. I don't know what you heard about me. Well, a bitch can't get $1 out of me. No Cadillac, no pearls you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking VIP. She in the club, she dancing for dollars. She got a thing for that Gucci, that Fendi, that Prada, that BCBG.
Whoa, new BOXR release on the store. That's right, we're building out an essentials line. So you like the embroidered stuff? We brought that back. Of course, this hoodie was embroidered, this shirt wasn't. Stylistic choices sometimes. Always highest quality, heavy cotton shirts, hoodies, ethically sourced, American made, fair wages for every laborer. Buy BOXR. Buy your way into heaven, baby. All right, let's get started. We got an Elige demo from Sydney. This is the Mirror the Rain demo from Sydney. Okay, went in for a quick reload of the demo. I want to watch Elige on T side, IEM Sydney Grand Finals. Reason being is because on Ancient, it's one of the roles where he took less opening duels when Yakinder joined the team on Liquid. Now he's on Complexity. Now he's doing extremely well on Complexity. If you look at his CS2 stats, he's one of the best players in the world, period, right now. Maybe some would say the true MVP of IEM Sydney, but of course didn't win the final, and still some stuff to show for Complexity. I personally think that when I look back on this game, what this game comes, if I had to reduce it to one thing, it has to do with X Factor, okay? When I looked at the trading, and when I say X Factor, I mean when you look at the trading between between Complexity and between FaZe's trading was always better. And in those really crazy moments where someone just gets that one extra kill, that really matters, by the way, in CS, it was always FaZe who got it. Always. Okay? So, very few moments. I'm speaking in hyperbole. There were very few moments that went the way of Complexity. So you see Elige walking. Okay, remember to walk a main. Unless you molly in the corner on the right side, all right? Actually, I got a little trick for you. Now that we can go back, we got some new technology. Who's ready for this, folks? You guys were very nice about the paint segments, but at the same time, I know when my art skills aren't wanted, okay? So boom, we got the new technology, baby. We got the pen on screen, like the telestrator, like the movies, like the goddamn sports events, okay? Here we are in the Super Bowl final. I'm drawing a yellow Molotov in the corner. If you run this way on the exit to the A site, if there's a donut player who runs in, sometimes they won't hear it. Haven't tested this in CS2 specifically, but I don't see why anything would necessarily change. This can sometimes mask the footsteps. At the very least, it can make it hard to know how many people and how close they are if you have the Molotov in the corner here. So when you're running up, you could throw the molly in the corner. First of all, it makes it seem like you're trying to stop a push. Secondly, if you go through it, then you can get out onto the site, maybe catch someone off guard. Okay, let's get back into the demo, baby. Wow, that actually worked pretty well. Let me know if you guys want more of those, but that makes it very easy to explain things that I want to explain. I'm a visual learner myself, so why is it that I talk so much? I should be drawing more. Elige on Ancient has always been the mid defaulter. On Liquid. Okay, that sound, by the way, when the Molly opens, I suspect it's actually louder. So Elige is always the mid defaulter. I just wanted to try to draw something, but I couldn't figure out how to do it over top of the minimap. Oh, I could do it like this, actually. And then like that. Oh, okay. So if Elige is here, right? The really important part from the T side is making sure that the CTs can't jump up on the boxes, that Rain can't smoke this and push this way, and then for them to take mid control. Because as I talked about in the last video, mid control on this map can really win you the round early, very often on CT side. Important to disrespect it. Elige's job sometimes is just to be very annoying, right? You have to threaten that you can push. You have to threaten that you could get spam killed if you're deciding to cross. It's the beginning of the round. Don't be shy about showing presence in a default, okay? You being in mid. Imagine if it was a fake. You still want to pretend that you were here. So there's almost no downside to making presence on a defaulted mid control as a T. You want to be a nuisance. It would be much worse to not have any presence at all. Let the CTs molly and then smoke you out. And then your team just gets pushed and no one gets shot in the back. No one takes nade damage like you saw Elige throw earlier in the round. There's no punishment, okay? Because then what happens is you have this all for free for the CT side. Look at this. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even exaggerating right now. Let's say you played no one on the A site. This is the only thing that you'd give up if you just start the round with mid control on the CT side. So that's why it's very important for this guy right here, Elige, to be the only person on the left side of mid to be able to cause a disturbance. because you can't rely only on your teammates who are defaulting outside B because they can get smoked and pushed out. Okay. And likewise, you got to have the shots back. Rob gets the lucky timing here with the shots that come forward, but that can be a demo kill too, based on how you see people lurk around, based on where the smoke plumed. So very important. If you win mid that way and you get someone like a Liege, and comparing tier 1 tier pugs, the name tags in the kill feed are such a big part of the round. Where you kill someone and when you kill someone. That's why it actually makes it difficult. One of the reasons it's difficult, one of the million reasons it's difficult to be a pro player, is that you're studied in your spots specifically. And because everyone is so good, you can't just switch to new spots all the time. It is still valuable to be able to play many spots in a game, but overall you're going to be specializing in your spots, and something like mid is a position that Liege hopes that he gets when he comes to complexity, right? And of course, when he joins a team like this, hopefully they make space for him so he gets the comfortable positions, because he's coming in as the best player on the team, an elite player who's won the most. So you want to make some room, okay? So this is a new technology, okay? It's new technology here, blowing open the mid-smoke. Now, do you see what happened here? Blowing open the mid-smoke allows you to check and push at the same time. And that is actually massive. That is massive for the T side. Now, they did this, it looked like predicated on JT getting his kill. Now, this is a mistake. I remember it was Twist who threw a nade from Donut to the front of that cave smoke, and then JT peeked in front of it, and then Rain pulled out a nade, and he was supposed to nade hit himself. So they just double opened it for JT. He reacted, and now they win mid because of it. And see how the map totally transforms when you get mid control like this? Like, let's just look instantly, even without window control here, at the mini map, and show now with a CT here, what the map looks like for the CT side, okay? So now you can see the Fog of War transform dramatically for the Ts, where mid control is 1. Unless there's even a player in Donut. If there's no player in Donut and the mid guy's smoked out, you know, the vision cone here on CT side is horrible. You're going to start getting into a position where you want to try to compensate. This might be your last line of defense to see into mid, and that might mean that you might want to try to take a late A push, which is very scary, a double B push, which is scarier without mid control, because the T's can be holding you from a number of spots outside of the door, right? You can't hold outside the door, for example, and inside the door if there's always a threat of a cave push, someone jumping up on boxes. Everything comes down to mid control. That's why you can't plant in mid. It's just very important, okay? Just gotta hammer that home. It's hard for, I think, new players to conceptualize what's the value of mid? What's the value of mid on any map if you don't plant there? Why don't we just group up and exec, guys? We've got such an easy way to win this round. Just stay close together and exec. And they're not wrong. It's really important. Spacing and staying together is easier than taking mid control, right? But the value add of getting mid control means you might have 3 or 4 T-favored fights in the round, instead of coming through one choke point and having a good chance to trade one kill into this site, or getting mowed down, or getting a nade landing square in the middle of 5 people. That can't happen when you are lurking into window in the middle of mid, taking over donut control with one guy. Not only that, you're also opening up timings because CT starts to get uncomfortable. Look at the minimap. They're starting to walk around, right? They have to respond to the Fog of War. Rops is coming in mid. These are all opportunities. Now let's see if one is grabbed here. And Rops, did he take a fast steps? It looked like a Liege seems concerned about someone who came to the right, but Rops is going to tuck. He's reinforcing B, and this is a small risk by Rops. The read is that it's going to be the B site. I would say this is key positioning from Rops that will win the round, considering the split that's taking place. It would have to be a pretty bad failure from the 2 guys inside of B, but right now FaZe are trying to make your 4 players feel like 5. So a spot like this is going to get you a kill 100% if you're Rops. What will it get you 2 is a different question. Oh, and he was very close, but a nice trade from Alish. This is interesting. So Alish knows now that A is probably lighter with 1 player there, but it's 1-1 to sights and 1 spotted. And Kerrigan, pretty heroic hold so far. No foreshadowing, but he can't hold down. So, all right. Oh, it was actually a very, very nice trade from Alish to get that kill inside of middle. Okay, Alish and Twist in a 1v1. Let's see how he plays it. And, you know, when you watch players play in these demos, look at what angles they take in 1v1s. What's their prime angle that they're going to take? Twist knows that Alish could be anywhere at all. Now he thinks that Twist may have crossed. So Alish actually a little bit nervous now. So he might actually come and peek into Twist. But he gets a very nice timing on Twist. Who, Twist for a second, could have actually gone and defused the bomb. But Alish is watching it for such a long time. So that ends up just being a confusing situation in a 1v1. But no matter how you toss it, it's going to be a T-favored situation in the 1v1. The CT is the one who has who has to go and search. Now, this is an interesting spot. Out of mid, we've seen actually Brokey blowing open the window smoke with a nade as an op in middle. This is a situation where that could get you a kill. And then now that we look at the map here for the T side, right, mid control, and you really can just chill for a second. You've got so much to work with. And Elige smartly coming back to watch A. And again, just like we saw with Rops that last round, Elige is trying to commit to get to a more committed position to stop the flank because it's a less anticipated position, right? It is a default, but as soon as they start putting pressure on towards B, the CTs might start running, literally, the flank. Now, it's Rops, so we'll have to see about that, but still. Look at this angle from Elige. How are you supposed to deal with that? I mean, let's go back and look at this from Rops' POV. Look, he's clearing it. He can't even make out his opponent. Oh, I have X-ray on and I can barely make him out. And look what mid control grants you again. Did you see that rotation all the way through mid? Oh, we saw this round from Rain's POV. It just decimates them. Okay. And you always know where Elige is, so it's a great spot to play if you're an aggressive rifler. To have someone like Elige inside a middle, lots of responsibility for a guy like this. You need someone who's scrappy. You need someone who understands how to put on pressure. And I say that when I'm talking about some pro players. Some pro players don't know how to apply pressure the same way that others do, okay? Maybe we chalk it up to personalities, but some players think about themselves more. Some players are very happy to be extremely active and have their presence known, everything like that. Some players just don't understand it. They just don't. And you watch them play way too passive, and then you see the round get away from them. It's hard to actually, from the outside, look at that and go, well, what happened? I mean, he was holding his spot, no one pushed him. But that activity, when you see someone playing it correctly, that's where it'll all make sense. Oh, obviously, not the start of your dreams here, okay, for Elige. He's doing okay. I mean, he's doing his spot. He's doing his role justice, I should say, trying to hold on to mid. He hasn't died in any egregious ways besides one spray down while holding on to elbow, but he's won his teammates mid over and over again. And once again, look at the map. There's always 4 outside B as soon as they win inside of middle, right? So pay attention to that. And Elige, because of that reason, goes back just to check, see if they've decided to squeeze. Because that's something, again, you make the CTs insecure, then punish their push, right? Make the CTs insecure, punish their push. If you make the CTs insecure early, you sit and wait for their push. Not always, but that's the fundamental way you play Counter-Strike, right? Not always, but it's a fundamental way. You know, a la Heroic, you might make CTs insecure, then exec right away because you know their rotation's going to be right away to respond, and then you just want to get ahead of things, and you watch the demo, and everyone goes, how'd they know? And it's because they decided to act really quickly. You go 2 levels deep on the read. You know, you play standard every single round. You might be a pro player's favorite team, okay? But it might not win you games versus other pro teams. You have to carve out a place for yourself, an identity for your team inside of tier 1. If you can't describe what makes a team the team that they are, then you probably can't point to too many big wins that they've had. So I think that it's something very important that I believe every player, every team has to think about for themselves. It's like, why is it them? Why is it them and not somebody else who's in that spot? There's plenty of good players out there. And in fact, plenty of good teams. Okay, let's see what the idea is here with Grim and Elige ready to take over mid control. It looks like they're trying to just put in different layers of how they're going to take it, not take it right in the beginning of the round. FaZe have actually been playing mid quite lightly, not holding on to it, not taking deep B control or anything. And now the T's will go ahead and take Cave. Rain has been pulling back from Cave, very passive positions. Twist has a nice off angle here. We can go ahead and take a look at that. You can see it's just to cover Donut. And I want to look at this from his perspective. Remember, it's a good off angle if they're looking the other way, but Elige is not looking the other way. That is so careful by him, and he just decided to walk up as well. Now, is that a good angle? For me, I looked at that and I thought, maybe it is a good angle, but I'll have to see, because it's not every day that you're going to see someone clear the angle like Elige did. But at the same time, the problem with it is that there's nothing else technically for him to look at, right? They have cave control, they have B control. The only thing right in front of Elige right now is Donut. So if we look at this, okay, here's the off angle right here. They're coming in to clear the pocket, and Twist is here inside of the window. If Twist, excuse me, was pushed out just a tiny bit more, he would have seen Elige looking sideways. That's the good angle, okay? But as we can see right here, this is not the good angle. This is angle dominance for Elige, who's shooting him before Twist can even be spotted. This is not even a CS2 moment. This is angle dominance. This is because Elige is farther away from this angle than Twist is. And he gets kills because of it. but this is a round winning kill right there. This actually frees up window. It makes the CTs just maximum. So now it's like maximum insecurity for the CT side, and it actually only costs you points at this point if you're complexity to sit around and wait for something to happen. This is the kind of situation where you don't want ROPS, like you did in that last round, to get into a nice deep angle towards the B side and screw up your execute. Instead, now you got a kill in a spot where one of the guns is holding mid and they're trying to hold on to information. You want to make sure that they don't overcompensate, outread you now, and they've got a mid play coming in. Oh, but Elise doesn't find his trade. Oh, the bomb can't rotate. Oh, JT's here. Brokey isn't heard, and oh my god, nice shots, Brokey. Kerrigan got a insanely key frag. That second frag, we've seen an uptick in AUGs in CS2. I was going to say on Ancient, but in CS2 in general. That's one of those moments where I'm like, all the X Factor kills are going the way of FaZe in this series, man. Watching Overpass, I think Complexity won Overpass, right? But it was so many heartbreakers, could have been even closer. Sad. I mean, honestly, it is the problem with Complexity in general is that they're almost there, man. They have JT. They have very, very good defaults for a team that is newly breaking in with a leader like JT. I'd say very impressive defaults, very thorough. They have excellent flashes. I always see very clean, good dry runs out of this team, no matter what lineup there is. I want to give JT so much credit for that. When it comes to big pressure matches, we've seen more than enough times, whether it's Imperial, FaZe, Na'Vi, or FaZe again, they have choked, or they have gotten so close, or they could say maybe they didn't choke, but they still can say they weren't ready. They weren't ready to catch that win, right? And I think, unfortunately, that's still where they're at. Like, it becomes a mental hurdle. You can't lose too much. You don't want to be made up of too much scar tissue when it comes to how close you get to finals. Your period of time where you're peaking will vanish. And I don't think that period of time is anywhere near close to complexity, as considering this making grand finals of a major LAN is actually their biggest achievement. So I think that's a high. But it is something where if it continues to happen, the next time they have it, it might actually count against them the more time you spend in finals that you don't win. So winning is the bottom line for every team. Everything else is Fugazi. We talk about, ooh, this is great for confidence. This is great for momentum. This is so good for their mental, right? As a team, as a unit, they're improving, they're growing, all that bullshit, right? But the bottom line is winning. And if you don't win, nothing else will do as much, okay? Rain takes a very good angle in here. I think he gets his kills. Wow. The second frag as well. That's a backbreaker. Why am I watching a Lee's demo where they get 2T rounds? Great question, Launders. I actually thought that this is a half where he did pretty well. Oh, that's a big frag from Elige. I would say there's two instances here where, you know, Elige needed to get his trades for his team to win the round. I'm not going to call him bad for those kills he missed. He got like insta'd by the AUG and that M4 right there from Rain. But still, that's where we would see the scoreline be different, you could argue. But this kill's huge. This wins them B and a lurk. So what's the idea? He's 32 health. So at a minute up, oh man, they come through the double push. Floppy was standing in front of the door, but right, I mean, honestly, the double push on B slope is so strong. It's so strong. The fact that you can walk up with two people along this wall and then swing out on basically different elevations, just having to hold for this on the outside of the door is pretty much a nightmare. It's a very good CT option, honestly. So not surprised to see them used it. It looks like that works out splendidly here for FaZe, and I'm not sure if they can recover the bomb in this spot. I know Elige really would wish he could take speed in this situation, but interestingly, he's coming through Donut, and now time's ticking. Bomb's going back. Elige at least has opened up the site. Oh my god, he didn't see Kerrigan. Wait. Oh, wow, he didn't see Kerrigan right there. God, these shadows are so crazy, man. You gotta memorize the shadows because they're all pretty much new. Oh yeah, JC gets the kill. Okay, all good. All good. This is a round that actually Elige he wins the round. He gets the kill on Rops jumping up, so that means that his teammates can take outside the B. So that when the double push B down B step happens, it actually works out for FaZe. The fact that he got material here, plus one mid and allowed B to be taken over, and then used the A push because he didn't see an A push coming out, that actually allowed for a late rotation back. Every single part of the round was won there by Elige, even though he wasn't with the pack or with the bomb. So again, we see the power of what it means to hold on to elbow, why it's so important to dominate a mid as a T, and how to put that pressure on without standing behind a smoke, waiting around, spamming a little bit, throwing a random nade. And also the new cool aspect in CS2 is not having to submit to a smoke from the CT side after the Molly polys. You saw that they can nade it and have not only the amount of time to peak the smoke to make sure no one's holding it, but enough time to peak and run through if it's clear. So that makes it really interesting for the T side. I think maps are starting out CT sided right now, but I think that's how it naturally is. CT's easier to figure out, and then the T's, as they maximize all their advantages, start to push back and make things more T sided. So that's what I expect to happen. But yeah, that's it. Listen, playing mid on Ancient would only be easier with ace zones. Hearing those footsteps on people crossing the smokes, you want sound isolation, okay? You only get that with ace zones. By the way, the settings that the ace zone have tested are to use natural as the EQ profile, okay? With perspective correction on, and you can play with the left-right isolation depending on what works for you and different headphones, but natural has been beautiful. I really haven't changed any audio settings for these ace zone headphones, so that's it. It's another plug. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Who should we do next? Love doing the demos. And the new technology, baby. Wow.